Welcome to the Salon. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating new study from the global consumer research firm NielsenIQ. They've put together a kind of map looking at the huge trends that are reshaping China's consumer market as we head towards 2026. And what they found? Well, it's a real game changer.
Okay, so right off the bat, this chart just tells a story of two completely different worlds. I mean, look at this. On one side, you have online channels that are absolutely booming, up a massive 18.5%. But on the other side, traditional offline stores are actually shrinking, down 5%. It's a market of extremes for sure.
So you have to ask, right? What in the world is causing this kind of ice and fire market? It's such a dramatic split. This isn't just about people clicking buy online instead of walking into a store. No, something much, much deeper is going on. Let's dig in and figure out the why behind this.
And the answer, according to NIQ's research, isn't really about technology or even just convenience. It's a huge psychological shift that's happening, and it's all captured in this one incredibly powerful phrase.
The core driver behind everything we're about to see is UG, which pretty much means pleasing oneself. Now, this is so much more than just treating yourself. It's a fundamental move away from buying things to impress other people to a much more personal, internal question. How does this purchase make me feel? How does it connect with my identity, my sense of self-worth?
And this chart right here, it's the perfect illustration of what pleasing oneself actually looks like in practice. When you ask consumers what they care about most, a massive 81% say safety and quality. That's followed right up by health, convenience, and the overall experience. The key thing here is that these aren't just product features anymore. They've become the essential ingredients of self-care.
Okay, so we've got this core idea of pleasing oneself. But how does that actually play out across the market? Well, it's setting off this massive chain reaction, creating and reshaping entire economies right in front of us.
For starters, it's absolutely supercharging the single economy. With this new focus on personal well-being, we're seeing a huge jump in spending on things like solo entertainment. And products like Meals for One, they're becoming totally mainstream. It's all about creating a fulfilling life on your own terms.
And this UG drive, it doesn't just stop with us humans. It extends to our furry, four-legged companions too. The pet economy is just exploding because people are projecting their own needs for health, for quality, for that emotional connection onto their pets. So, in a funny way, pleasing your pet has become another way of pleasing yourself.
It's also completely rewriting the rulebook for the senior market. The silver economy isn't just about passive care anymore. No way. Now, it's all about products and services that empower independence, boost quality of life, and really support the self-respect of an older generation that's more active than ever. Now, what I find really fascinating is how different generations go about pleasing themselves. For Gen X, it tends to be a pretty practical thing, you know? They're looking for quality that's been proven, things that just work. But for Gen Z, consumption is an act of creating an identity. They want to buy into a community, into a shared set of beliefs.
So we've pretty much established that the why of shopping has totally changed. Well, it only makes sense that the where of shopping has to change right along with it. And this is where we start to see the real winners and losers emerge.
This psychological shift we've been talking about, it perfectly explains that ice and fire chart we saw at the beginning. See, consumers aren't just looking for a shelf with a million options anymore. They're flocking the channels that give them a curated selection, a unique experience, and a real emotional connection. They want to feel like the brand actually gets them. And the proof is in the numbers. Get this. Content-driven e-commerce, platforms that blend entertainment and community with shopping, is up a staggering 27%.
And it's not just online. Warehouse clubs are growing by an incredible 25%. And why is that? Well, their super curated selection of high-quality stuff takes the stress out of shopping. It gives consumers this feeling of making a smart, self-caring choice, which is a perfect example of that UG mindset in action. So what's the flip side? Traditional hypermarkets, the ones that often just compete on having endless aisles and low prices but lack that special emotional experience, are down a sharp 19%. The message from consumers here is crystal clear.
So the new retail battlefield, it's not a fight for shelf space anymore. Not at all. It's a full-on competition for emotional engagement. These immersive, personalized, and honestly just more fun experiences are winning, hands down, over the old, transactional way of doing things.
Okay, so after looking at all this incredible data, what are the most crucial points we should really take away from this? Let's boil this new consumer map down to the 3 biggest findings and what they mean for the future.
First, and this is the most important one, the fundamental driver of the Chinese consumer market has shifted from pleasing others to pleasing oneself. This focus on self-worth, identity, and just feeling good, it's the source code for literally every other trend we're seeing.
Second, this deep psychological shift is directly redrawing the retail map. The channels that are winning, that are thriving, are the ones that have moved past just selling stuff to offering real curation, engaging experiences, and that all-important emotional connection. Value isn't just about price anymore. It's about feeling valued.
And finally, that leads us to our third and probably most important point for the future. The battle for the consumer's wallet is now going to be won through the heart. The focus for brands has to pivot from just listing technical specs and features to creating genuine emotional resonance.
Which leaves us with this really powerful, provocative final thought straight from the NIQ report. In this new consumer landscape, where everyone is trying to please themselves, the ultimate competitive advantage isn't price or features, it's empathy. The question is no longer, what can you sell me? It's how well do you understand me?